Hello again, I'm Pastor Travis from A Faithful Dad. We are wrapping up chapter 10. This is week 4 from chapter 10, Joy in Misery. Jesus knew joy because he cried out in misery. And as has been our standard with the final week of the last part of the chapter, we go through a Family Guide to Joy in All Circumstances, the online app. It's available free at the Apple App Store, also the Google Play. You can just download it, and the code word is JOY exclamation point. Enter that, this will pop up, and it's basically a way to put into practice what we've been talking about, praying about, trying to do. And it's like an accountability tool, an opportunity to go through it together. You can do it solo, you can do it with your accountability partner, your best friend, your family. That's a really great idea. And you go through it, and it asks a simple question, and you try to do that together. This one is misery. Expand on how you know joy and misery by crying out in misery. Again, expand on how you know joy by crying out in misery. And all you need to do is just check it off. Now, if it was just as easy as checking it off, right? How can we know joy in misery, right? Because that is something like banging your thumb with a hammer, not something we want to do. It's like getting a bee sting, not something we desire. But yet, misery comes to us, doesn't it? God allows misery to enter into our lives in many different circumstances. And as I've shared before, I will say again, it's the theme of it's a theme of God's Word, is persevering and patience. However, I consider myself worth nothing if only I may finish the race and finish the task, testifying to the gospel of God's grace. Acts 20:24. We're gonna push through that. We're gonna move through that. So when we talk about misery, there's oftentimes people will say misery loves company, and I get it. And I go to Job on that situation. Job had 3 friends who started out strong, and then they evolved into a squabble. But misery is something to walk through with someone, walk through with your friends. It's not something you can always share at the deepest levels, but it's hard to hide misery when we do go through it. But expanding on how you can know joy in that, the joy is that Jesus walks with you. The joy is that Jesus will never leave you nor forsake you. The joy is that we're becoming more and more like Christ. Now, this isn't me giving you the answers. It's basically helping to prompt a discussion that you're having. Talk to God about it. Just like I shared in one of the earlier videos, God already knows what's on your heart. He already knows the misery that you're going through, and he knows when the end of it is. We don't know when that will be. But what we can count on over and over, and who we can count on, is Jesus and taking us through it. In your name, Father.